Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm Scott Stevenson. I'm a DP and gaffer living here in Los Angeles. And if you're new to the channel, this channel is basically where I document my journey as a filmmaker and kind of talk about filmmaking related products and software and do behind the scenes and breakdowns and things like that. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and click subscribe. I really appreciate it, trying to grow the channel. And for all you guys who are coming back to the channel, thanks for checking out this video. If you saw in the thumbnail, you know what this is about. It's another behind the scenes. And on this project, I was coming on as a gaffer and I brought my business partner on as a key grip. So we were basically just filling in with small crew, helping out another DP. So gaffer, key grip, DP, and director. And we didn't even have sound. We were pretty much just shooting B-roll. And our client was the Grammy Museum in downtown Los Angeles. It was really cool. It was very interactive. They had guitars and drums and all kinds of cool stuff. For me as a musician, it was cool to kind of play around with everything. Basically, we were just kind of running around. It was a very run and gun kind of shooting a lot of B-roll. Our DP was using a gimbal, RS4 Pro, and FX3, I believe. And yeah, it was pretty just all B-roll, run and gun. So let's jump into the behind the scenes and I'll show you guys how everything went. Okay, so like I previously stated, this was a photo/video gig for the Grammy Museum. And they had this cool exhibit. It was called the Sonic Playground. And they had all of these different little stations, like this one right here, where you can control drum machines. And it was like a fully operational drum machine with like a tutorial, and you could go through and create different like patterns. It was super cool. Every little station had its own thing. There's Jordan flexing. They had a DJ booth where you could practice mixing and, you know, kind of be like a little DJ, and headphones, and you can like, you know, beat match and all that kind of stuff. Super cool. The biggest thing was these interactive lighting consoles, or these interactive lighting tubes. They kind of went with the beat, went with the music, and you can kind of go up to them and touch them and interact with them, and they would change tone. And then there was a stage, as well as these other like little areas where you could, we had a photo team that we were working with. So it wasn't just video, it was also photo. They were doing their own thing and kind of using their own lighting. We were mostly supporting the DP and bringing in lighting for video. So here's just a look at what we were getting from the director's monitor, or like the monitor that was mounted on the cart. These are the OC monitors, you know, pretty good monitors, budget monitors, pretty color accurate. It was a way for us to kind of see what was going on without being kind of in the way. We were using the 60X, and, you know, some of our other gear was kind of laid out. Got some Titan tubes, some Aperture MC Pros, you know, 60X, and then another Amaran light that we were using. Pretty small package. We didn't bring a whole lot, just a couple of trips in the car, and a bunch of V-mount batteries. You can see them charging there. Here's Min. He's our DP, very talented guy. I've worked with him on a few different projects. He's the one that brought us onto this project. We were doing like a color cast with Cream Source Vortex panel, Vortex 8, and then we had a 60X that was kind of giving us a little backlight through these cool little records that were hanging down. And then, yeah, Min's on the gimbal. He's shooting on the FX3, and he's doing his thing with the RS3 Pro gimbal. And yeah, autofocus and sending out the wireless feed with the DJI transmission system. Pretty cool. Another thing that he was doing that we thought was pretty cool is he has this little butt dolly where he kind of sits on, and he has like, you know, wheels, and he can kind of scoot around the set, and it allows him to like very comfortably get these lower angle shots that if he were to try to get these lower angle shots, it would like really hurt his back and just put him in a very uncomfortable position. So now he can get very low to the ground shots by scooting around on this butt dolly and just being in a very good, you know, comfortable position. And here I am. We're using the Hollyland headsets, and I'm just using an actual boom pole like you would use for sound, and I just have it rigged up with Amran 60X going into Godoc's softbox. I actually made a video about that on the channel. I'll put a link to it right here if you're interested in seeing about that light and softbox combo. What's cool is I'm using it with some V-mount batteries, and it's actually pretty bright with just V-mount batteries. So We were just bouncing around doing some B-roll. Here's our talent interacting with those poles, and we're just booming out another light, which is this inflatable Ulanzi light tube, and it's just battery powered. It's got an internal battery, and it's bicolor, and it's really nice. It's got magnets on the back. You're able to just like stick it to the ceiling here, and then we put up another source as a backlight into this one little room. Here's our DJ setup once our talent arrived, and we kind of went through and did some of the DJ stuff. We had that blue wash going in the background again. We can actually see it in the shot, but it's kind of hard to see. That vortex panel giving us that blue background. And then we're kind of far side keying her. Jordan's kind of just like Hollywooding this. It looks like he's using a Titan tube. And we're just, shooting more B-roll and just kind of edging her with this Titan tube. And then we moved on to this other setup where she's going into a recording, like a vocal booth. And our Vortex 8 was pretty much our heavy hitter throughout the shoot. It's a great light. It's the biggest light that we brought with us. And for the most part, we were using these tiny little inflatable tube lights, some Titan tubes, MC Pros, just small little pockets of light here and there. This setup, we actually put a 60X up in the grid to give these guys hair light, this little band. Altogether, it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at the final video. Here is the hardest shot of the whole entire thing. I had to time these Astera Titan tubes to do this chase effect as we did this wraparound shot. It was pretty cool. The whole thing ended up being about a minute long piece. Obviously, it's vertical for social media. I think that small little key light did great on these people's faces. The camera moves are really awesome. And I think that all these little setups just look really, really fantastic. And just really pleased with how the whole thing turned out. And it was just a cool project in general to be a part of. And yeah, I thank everybody at the Grammy Museum for including us in this project. And just, if you guys are in the area, I encourage you to go check it out. It's actually really cool. You can definitely spend a whole day just messing around in there, especially if you're into music. But yeah, these shots just really turned out really amazing. Once again, I'm Scott Stevenson. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to check out some of my past videos as well as subscribe to see my future ones. Peace, guys.